All right, we're ready to go. Welcome to day one of Making AI Your Muse. This is going to be one of the most important courses of the whole program. Listen carefully because there is a simple yet profound message inside. Hi, welcome to the first day of Make AI Your Muse. This is going to be a simple lesson, but the message is, even though it's simple, it's profound and really important. If you take away just one thing from this course, this one will change the way that you work with AI. There are essentially two ways to use AI. You can use it as an oracle, a source of knowledge you go ask questions, or you can use it as a muse, a source of inspiration. A simple change from one method to another will make all the difference in what you get from AI. Now, each of these talks is designed to be short and focused on one message. Each will be around 10 minutes, just enough time for us to have a coffee together. I'm passionate about how some small changes in the way you use AI could bring some big results for you. Let's get started. Before we go any further, we need some common ground when we talk about AI. Let's start with some definitions. First of all, what is AI? AI is a system trained on vast amounts of human-generated data. It finds patterns in that data and predicts the most useful response to whatever you give. That's it. It has no understanding of your business, no understanding of your context, no awareness of your goals. It only knows what you tell it about your business and your challenges, which means the quality of your input determines the quality of its output every single time. Now, there are three types of AI you're going to encounter in your work. The first is predictive AI. It finds patterns in past data to forecast what happens next. Think credit scoring, demand forecasting, churn prediction. The second is generative AI, and that's what most people think about when they talk about AI right now. It generates new content, text, images, code, plans, decisions. It's what ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, and most of the tools you're using do already. The third is agentic AI. It acts autonomously, completing tasks without human prompting at each stage. It's newer, it's moving fast, and it raises the stake on everything we discuss in the course. If you get to know generative AI well, you'll be in a better position to manage agentic AI. This course is going to focus only on generative AI. It's about the larger language models you know, the kind of stuff that's behind ChatGPT, Claude, and Gemini. There's two reasons for it. One, it's the type most knowledge users already have in their hands. Second, it's the type most consistent. It's not because the tools are bad, but because the interaction model is wrong. People use generative AI as an oracle. This course will teach you to use it as a muse. This course is going to be light on tools and makes no recommendations on the best models to use. You can follow along with any model. You can use the free versions, but I'd suggest you have one paid subscription. It'll make you're following the course better, but it'll also give you better results at your work. Now, all three models that we talk about, even the paid models, share the same limitation. For your problems and challenges, they only know what you tell them or can guess. Sadly, they guess wrong too often. With my clients, I do something called the hallway test. The hallway test is simple. If you're unhappy with the output AI is giving you, stop somebody in the hallway, give them the same brief you gave AI. Imagine you ask something like, write me a sales email. They might say what? They ask you back, for what? For who? The tone? What do I need to know? Those questions are what you need to be answering before you use AI. That is the big gap we're closing. That gap is everywhere. Here's what I see all too often. You give AI a brief, gives you a confidence answer, you use it. Later you found out the replies didn't help much. Not because the AI was wrong, but because you asked the wrong question. You handed the wheel to the tool. It took you somewhere, just not where you need it to go. Now, most people assume that smarter AI produces better outcomes. Here's what the data says. 78% of organizations in the US use AI regularly. However, more than 80% of these report zero measurable impact on earnings. The AI on your desktop, on your phone right now is truly amazing. In my experience, the tools are seldom the issue. It's the way we're using them. Quite simply, the wrong questions lead to the wrong answers. Here's what this lesson is about. AI does not know what your organization needs, only you do. The people who get value from AI direct it. The people who don't defer to it. That is the biggest distinction that matters, and it's the one we'll build on for the rest of this course. Now, I want to start with a simple question for you. When was the last time you sat with a difficult problem for 5 whole minutes before searching for the answer? Not researching it, not Googling it, not asking AI, not talking to a friend, just thinking. I'll let you think about that for just a second. Most people can't. We've built systems that deliver speed, quick answers to any question. Google it has been part of our language for years. And back then, at least, you had to think about what to search for. Now, social media and AI hand you the whole answer before you even form the question. The answers are good. Sometimes they're absolutely brilliant, but something is quietly disappearing. Thinking before seeing the answers. Because when answers arrive before thinking begins, exploration collapses. Alternatives disappear, and you accept the first frame you're given. You stop interrogating the frame and start optimizing insight. And because the answer sounds confident, you feel more certain than you should. The tool doesn't make you wrong. It makes your judgment underdeveloped. Here's what you need to think about. AI can help you solve the wrong problem faster than you've solved anything before. And here's the dangerous part. Oftentimes, you can't feel you're working on the wrong problem. Good results come from thinking first. Help should come after, not before thinking. This is not an argument against AI. It's not a nostalgia for the good old days. It's a sequencing problem. Problem first, solution second. Always. The Oracle trap is simple. You ask the AI what to do before you define what you need. The AI answers confidently. The answer is plausible. You say, pretty good, I'll follow this. And somewhere downstream, the output fails to connect with anything real in your organization because the AI was not working on your problem. It was working on the most likely version of your problem based on similar questions it's seen elsewhere. That's not the same thing. Here's what it looks like in practice. A leadership team asks the AI, what AI tools should we adopt? The AI lists 10 platforms, 3 pilot, 3, nothing sticks. The team concludes AI is overhyped. The real question was never asked. What's the single biggest bottleneck preventing us from hitting our targets in the next 24 months? How could AI help? The same tool, completely different starting point, and a completely different set of answers. The alternative is the Muse model. A Muse doesn't make decisions for you. It provokes you, it challenges, expands your thinking, but only after you've defined the question. In practice, this means one thing. You bring the problem. AI brings the pressure test. You decide in that order. Always in that order. And here's why it matters at scale. McKinsey's 2024 global study of enterprise AI adoption found that high-performing organizations, those attributing more than 5% of earnings to AI, consistently define their strategic goals and operational bottlenecks before they select the tools. These leaders make $3.70 for every dollar spent on AI. High performers reach $10.30 per dollar invested. Organizations that adopt tools without defining the problem first average zero, yes, zero measurable impact on earnings. The difference here is not technical capability, it's whether the problem was defined before the tool was opened. Let me give you an example. This goes back a ways. In 1943, American military engineers were trying to keep more bombers alive. They studied planes returning from combat all over Europe. They mapped every bullet hole, the wings, the fuselage, tail sections. The solution seemed obvious. You got to reinforce those areas. Then a statistician named Abraham Wall asked a quiet question. What about the planes that didn't come back? The engineers were studying the wrong signals. The bullet holes they could see showed where the planes could survive being hit. The real damage was invisible. Planes hitting the engines never returned. The engineers had the right data, but they were asking the wrong question. Wall didn't give them a fast answer. He gave them a better question. Reinforce the engines. He was doing something we forget too often. He thought before he answered. The right question wasn't where the bullet holes were. It's why didn't the other planes go? He preserved the moment before the answer. The moment where the real question is. This is exactly the moment under pressure right now. Every day in every office, people are reinforcing the wings. The faster our tools get, the more likely we are to be the engineers. We make the same mistakes every day. We assume better decisions come from better answers. Too often, we forget the wrong question leads to the wrong solutions. Today's concept is simple. AI as a leader. Your key question going forward is this. Have I defined the problem before I open the tool? That question will come up in every lesson in this course. It's the foundation everything else is built on. The next lesson will be on why your expertise is irreplaceable. If you want to learn more, I have a few links for you. One, you can read more on making AI your news out of my book, The Generative Organization. Here's a free download link. There's a presentation, TEDx presentation, which isn't up online yet. When help comes too early, it's about the problem associated with asking for solutions before we thought. And a notebook LM. For those of you who don't know notebook LM, it's really cool stuff, and I'll show you in this page, where you can ask questions based on factual studies. What you're going to find here is some cool facts, and the cool facts are there for every lesson in this course. We've gathered videos, articles, research. You can ask any question in the area in which the notebook was built. For example, what's the best predictor of company ROI? This is the Essentials course. There's also an Advanced course. It's called the AI Divide, Why 80% Fail. Why you might want to watch it? There's 3 keys to closing the divide. How to better define problems, AI. Now, before you close this off, I want to give you a challenge. What's going to follow next is a request to apply some of the things that you've learned today. Why do you want to? Quite simply, tell me and I forget. Show me and I remember. Involve me and I understand. Let me apply it and I learn. This is from Ben Franklin. What you'll also find is when you try to learn more, you may become familiar. What I'd like you to do is try to use AI to remove a bottleneck. There's 3 steps to the application. First, describe a challenge that you're working on. 2, define the bottlenecks. And 3, review the output. If you want to use a prompt to get you started, you can use the one which is here and just fill in the things that look like. It'll be quick, it'll be easy. Now, what I'd like to ask you to do after this lesson today is to fill in a quick 2-minute survey with 4 questions. It'll be the only survey that we ask during the course before the 5th class. We just want to ask you, how was today's class? How are you feeling? What was the key message? And anything you'd like to share. Thank you very much. I'll see you again tomorrow, or maybe in the advanced lesson today.